Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Hey everyone, checking in on oil and USO, and we'll start with the weekly time frame because there's been a really nice bounce in oil and oversold bounce on the daily time frame, but this is the perspective chart where very clearly we are very bearish on oil longer term over the past 4 or 5 months. So I just want to show that while we've had really strong upside all week in oil, we cannot lose sight of the fact that we are going to set a lower high on this weekly time frame. Now, after that lower high is set, the question is going to be, can the bulls form a higher low and then another higher high to reverse the trend, or do we set another lower high and continue the lower low pattern and continue to pull back? So you can see very clearly all of this pullback with these lower highs and lower lows, a very solid bounce, but we're about to approach some resistance. And I'll show these resistances on some shorter term time frames. I do believe that there's an oil bearish entry approaching, and that will be a nice bearish entry. But looking at the daily time frame, we can see a very strong oversold bounce. Again, the RSI was down in the mid-20s, and then the bulls showed up with a significant move to the upside. And what we are seeing is we're approaching the resistance. Number one is 46.69, the high of this last bounce attempt. We'll put a line there. Number two, this previous uptrend support line on the weekly time frame, we back tested and rejected from that right at that level, and we're going to be approaching that level as well. That's going to be in the right around $47, and then after that I'm looking up at 48.37. So the bulls have done a really nice job in the short term, but again, we are going to set a lower high on this bounce. There is no question in my mind that that's going to happen, and all you have to do is look at the weekly chart and say, okay, what's realistic to happen here? Are the bulls going to see another $6 to the upside without pulling back? No, they're not. They're going to pull back before that. And then again, like I said, the question will be, can we form another higher low and then a higher high to continue this bounce? But as of right now, the bulls are exhausting themselves to the upside. Look at the hourly chart. RSI ended the week at 80 with just a straight shot to the upside. So the RSI is extremely oversold, or overbought, I should say, on the hourly time frame for oil, so we need to keep that in mind. But because of the last 4 hours of trading on Friday, we're not going to break the higher low pattern on oil anytime soon on the hourly time frame, as the last consolidation low was down at 45.45, and we're almost 2% above that level. So bulls are in full control. We are scouting a bearish entry opportunity. That first level of resistance that I am going to be looking at is the daily time frame up at 46.69, and we'll see how the price reacts to that level. Looking at USO, nice bounce has played out. Resistance for USO is 965 followed by 999. Solid volume behind this move, but you look at the weekly time frame, this is just one green week, and it's coming after 5 red weeks. So we've made some nice progress on the bounce back, but we are going to set a lower high on this weekly time frame, and I'm going to be watching exponential resistances, and after that we'll be watching those daily levels in terms of picking out more specific resistances. Every bounce attempt that led to lower lows is a resistance. So 965, 999, 10.0, no, make that 1030, and every time we set a lower high, we have resistances. So that's why I'm looking at the daily chart for resistances rather than the weekly, because the weekly chart doesn't have many clear levels, where the daily chart has much more detail because it is zoomed in. So that's what we got here on the sector going forward. Bulls are in full control. We closed at the high of the week. There's no doubt about that. But if we were to see a push Sunday night into Monday morning, I would absolutely be looking for an overbought pullback. Again, the hourly RSI will be in the mid-80s if we were to see that happen. So anticipating normal healthy consolidation on the hourly, and it's going to be up to us to gauge, is that normal healthy consolidation the start of a more significant pullback, or do the bulls just cool off RSI and keep heading up into the $46 range on oil? And again, volume is going to be a big indication as to whether or not the consolidation that does occur is significant or not. But as of right now, bulls in full control, lower high is being scouted, bearish entry is coming this week. I appreciate you watching. We'll continue to check back in. Have a good night.